that's not conducive, like you say, Darius. He's in the bed waiting on me to come to bed. I'm in the basement in my office working. In my mind, I'm thinking it's going to be more money for the family. Same stuff you say. It's going to be more money. I'm going to bring more to the table. I'm going to be able to contribute. Or in my case, I was a breadwinner. So I need this. I got to take care of me, you, and everybody else. But it's a problem in relationship. I can't tell you how many times I've had men in dating situations say, I don't want to be with you because you don't need me. You don't need me.
Yeah.
I didn't say I didn't need you.
You didn't?
I didn't. What issues, are there issues with strong black women who work just as hard as y'all? Is that a problem?
Not everything that's said is not always burden.
That's why I asked the question.
It's not always burden.
Okay.
So I can say I love you, but if I'm beating you, which one you gonna believe?
Right.
What I'm saying or what I'm doing. And I personally don't have a problem with strong black women because I am extremely secure who I am as a man. Right. I'm going to dare say that men who have a problem with strong black women may not necessarily be as comfortable at that point with who they are as a man. Right. I would tell a woman that wherever I show up, I'm the man. Now, like I said before, there might be a Bahamian and Jamaican in me.
Right.
There's this variance, but I am the man wherever I show up. I'm the most qualified man sitting right here, not right there. Right. And I wake up with that and I go to bed with that. And I learned a long time ago that there are many iterations of a marriage or relationship. What works for me might not work for him. So if you're up 2 o'clock in the morning working, I can appreciate that. As long as we're meeting each other's needs and our relationship might call for us having some midday snacks, midday meetings, seeing about one another, as long as you respect me, as young folks about my hustle, my grind, and I'm respecting yours, so this is what you do, this is what I do, and this is how we're gonna do it. Yeah. Simply put. That's for me. That's for me.
I like it.
I like it. You ain't that busy. Like, I know you with your supervisor, mail. Hey, you can't talk, you can text. That's my thing. Because the reason you doing what you're doing is for your household. The reason you went to college, the reason you got that job, the reason you up 2 in the morning trying to finish that case is to provide for your household. So
but if my household suffering.
If the household suffering, it's going to crumble eventually. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure those people along with you on the ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, involve, especially your husband. Make sure he involved. Like, I'm a supporter. Like, if you get a promotion, you know, sergeant, now lieutenant, I want to be there. I want to be at the graduation. I want to be at the penny ceremony. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. So I need to know what's going on with you, baby. Do your thing. I'm going to support you, but involve me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to involve your husband. If he's a man's man, he want to be involved. I don't play video games. I ain't sitting at the house 4 hours playing no game. You know what I'm saying? I want to know where my lady at.
Yeah, I'm saying, and it's hard for me to be able to relate to the scenario because, you know, I have my own grind. My grind isn't based on how my wife's grind is. You know what I mean? We don't have to, I don't even talk about matching financials. But I mean, you have your grind, I have my grind. If you're back there doing it, I mean, I'm supporting that. There are moments and windows in there, going back to what his brother was saying, where you gotta find time for me. Let's say if that's a break moment, we have a break moment in that. I don't think that is the issue that men have with the woman who's made it in her career. Real men don't have that as a challenge. But it does go back to the comment about saying where I asked, you know, about the need thing. The verbalization of that, you can come off answering that question where you verbalize it or not. Yeah. And some of it can come off as arrogance. Some of it is an insecurity also in the man too. You got to recognize when you are the breadwinner, when he's sitting back and he can't be the provider, can go out and get the thing that you're wanting, and then you belittle him in that, you're speaking volumes to him. But it's hard for me to even relate to that. I don't know how to relate to being taken care of by a woman. Right. I don't even know what that looks like. So it's hard for me to give any real advice to it, other than no man wants to feel like he's not needed.
Right.
Because if you don't need us, you won't have us. It's
Yeah.
just that simple. And a man that will meet you, that got your life together, you got your career together, you got your own home, and I mean, I look at that. If I was a single man, I said she's already made. I may say before I ever get to know you that you don't need me, just because you've demonstrated by who you have and what you are that you don't need me. So you will get to a point where you can't have me based on it. Am I making
So
sense?
some men are just intimidated before they even approach you, so they don't approach you.
Well, intimidated isn't the word.
What is
Because
it?
again, you're talking to men here. You don't intimidate me. But my point is, what I see in you is that you have gotten yourself in a place. And what I mean by that, men know our money is ours. Meaning me and my wife's money is ours.
Right.
But I'm tend to believe that my wife's money is her money.
Right.
You understand what I mean? We just know what I bring in the house is ours. What my wife bring in the house is hers. You know what I mean? She's not going to be the one to sit at the table. My wife will buy dinner and all that.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. But from the standpoint we know, I said, you got a ready-made home. I know if I move in there with you, the moment I screw up, because I'm going to, my stuff is going to be by the door. You're going to let me know when I get wrong who owns what round here.
I tell you, I have a friend of mine, professional, got married young to a gentleman slightly older. She rose, and the income raised above his significantly. And something happened, and she said to him, "You know we don't need your paper." And I told her, I said, "You can't do that to a man." I
No.
said, "That's literally like putting a knife on you, pulling it up and turning cards."
Yeah.
I said, "You would have never told me that."
Yeah.
You would have never told me. I said, "You cannot do that to a man." You know, just like a man can. There are things that we can say, and this is on topic, but there are things that we can say to each other in our responsibility. So, you couldn't hit me enough to make me distrust women, but you can cut me with your words that I make every woman pay for that.
Wow. Wow.
I can hit you, and you will never trust another man. I can say something to you, and you will be like, first of all, your friend, girl, you're not who he said you is. You're a queen. You're a queen and stuff. Because we don't have that support that we're like you all have amongst each other.
Right.
But it's different. It really is, and you all have a tendency to say with your mouth, "You know this is my house, right?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told her, I said, "She tell you that one time, it's coming back again." I've told young guys who want to follow them to someplace, don't do that, bro. Don't get in the car and go with her to Atlanta, catch the bus up there, sleep with your boys on his couch, set up your own deal. Now you can go over there and tap that behind, y'all can do stuff together, but set your deal up separate, because you don't want some woman to say, because I just don't think it's in men to be able to say, "Girl, you know this is my house." We know that when we hit the door, we ain't got to say that, but when y'all say that,
Yeah.
Well, isn't that kind of old-fashioned? Isn't that like outdated though? I mean,
What's
the
outdated?
times have changed. I mean, you got a lot of women who make more than men and who already got the ready-made house. I mean, who is it? Is it us that's wrong, or is it y'all that's living back there where y'all mindset's still back in the day that the man got to be there?
no, that's not what I'm saying.
No.
That's not what I'm saying. So just like there should never be an occasion for me to put my hands on you. There should never be an occasion for you to tell me, if you love me, you know this is my house.
Right.
I knew that when I moved in here. I know that every month when I put $200 in on a $2,500 mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to tell me that. When you tell me that, you intend to cut.
Yeah.
And
that's what women do.
That's one of the things that y'all do. The Bible talks about y'all. Talk about that thing here.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
tongue.
Mouth.
Star Wars and
Tongue.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Y'all practice that.
Yeah.
You know, from young.
Yeah.
You know, y'all got to get with that. There's nothing that a man can say to you, all things being equal, that's going to impact you for the longevity of your life. And if you say something to me that cuts me that way, every woman I meet for a period of time going to pay for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's because I'm insecure
Mm-hmm.
and I'm shallow when I do that. You know, so.
And it's also about the come up too, though. It's I've my experience. There's 20 guys in the group, and of the 20 guys that are in the group with me, 14 of them got married in their 20s. So their marriage, and they're still, those who have gotten married in their 20s are still married, and they got their growth and their comeuppance together in the house with that man or that woman. Right? Now, and I said that's 14. There are 3 who have never been married. Okay, so now I'm at 19, so I'm at 17. And then there are 3 more who divorced but have gotten remarried. And they got remarried in their 50s. So I was just looking at that data and trying to see what did that tell me. And I met the woman I'm married to. I was 25 years old. I was making $5.85 an hour. I ain't have nothing. You know what I mean? But I mean, obviously we're a long way from that now.
Right.
So we saw and we built and got what we have together. You saw the struggle, you do that. And I think those things are important. Now, one of the guys that's in the group, he's a PhD, his wife is a lawyer. They didn't get married until their 30s, right? They dated for a while, but they got married in their 30s, but they both were academics, right? So they were both trying to get rid of their education, they were trying to get that. But even that path was still a collective together path. And I think that's important when you're building, because I can tell you, of those group of 20 guys, me included, if I'm not married to that woman that I'm married to right now, I'm not going to be married to anybody. I'm not getting married again. That's just my own personal note at 51, saying she's got the best of me. Right. Nobody else will get the best of me. Someone can have 100% of what's left, but it still ain't going to be 100%.
Right.
You understand? So now you get at the age of 51, and if you're a black woman that is successful like you and you haven't been married, it isn't because there's anything wrong or innate in terms of that woman who's made it, but you're in an unfortunate window where your resources are few. Because if all of these men here, sitting up here, are single men, we still have more options than you. Yeah. That's the unfortunate reality. We still have more options than you. And those options are even more broader because we tend to not discriminate. We want our black woman, but we ain't 100% in the paint with that. Right? And so a man has greater options, and as such having those greater options and being successful, he doesn't have the plight you have. Men don't worry and say, man, I got all this money, I got this house, oh my God, man, I say a woman ain't gonna want me. Oh yes, no, they do. Right? That's not our challenge, but again, we don't look at what we have when we get a woman as ours. Right. You know what I mean? I mean, like, this is mine. Right. When a man gets a woman, he's been taught, it's innately to who he is as a man, that this is what I'm building for my family. Right. It's a family for us, right? Even if he's a father and he has kids and he meets that woman, he's going to be more settled and slower about introducing his son or daughter to a woman than a woman will to the man, right? Because everything he's doing is about building that. If he gets to that point, you become a part of what he is at y'all. You have even the authority and the right to discipline the way you take that from a man. And then the kid in that house sees that. And that's why it's so hard to be in relationships with mine, his, and hers, and you've established, and you got all those other factors. So success in of itself doesn't bring success in relationships. Right. And
I know.
And
I know.
And I'm not telling you to sell your house and all that kind of stuff. Right. but make me think you need me. I mean, if you already rolled up on the mansion where you at, I said, well, okay, I like that. That's cool. But he's already saying, man, this girl ain't really, you know what I mean? Because what, she going to put her house on the market? Because I'm not going to move in there. I'm not moving into another woman's house. A man is not going to do it. Yeah, we ain't going to do it. We ain't going to do it. Now, we can go get something together because now, you know, we have an opportunity to share in the consequence.
See, y'all know y'all not helping me, right?
So
y'all making it.
You know what, your girlfriend's a lot to you. We're not.
Here's one thing if you find it difficult to how can I convey this to my mate that I need him?
Right.
If you can't do that, the last thing you need to do is to tell him why you don't need him. You get it? Mm-hmm. I mean, you could source this out. How can I, Google, YouTube, whatever? How can I, convey to my mate I need him? Ask somebody other than the girlfriend that don't know how to do it either. Right. But it's really important because, like he said, once you put that cut there, words leave wounds. Wounds take time to heal, and ain't no telling what kind of damage can happen to that man or people that come in his path either.
Right.
So if we offer empowering black women like we do sometimes, and I think men should do that too. But yeah, we will be more cognizant of what we're doing to the man that we're involved with. You know, because sometimes the women that's complaining about certain men, sometimes women are the problem of that. You know, and that's just why I say, if you don't know how to do something,
Google it.
source it out, but don't do the opposite where you'll make it worse. Yeah, Google it, whatever.
I think I may have mentioned this in the last one, and I love this, my own personality on it, right? Of why Superman chose Lois Lane over Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Right? Why Superman chose Lois Lane over Wonder Woman. And I want people to understand something about Lois Lane. Lois Lane was educated. She was over the news bureau in the Daily News. I'm using the analogy of the Superman thing, right? But I want to paint that picture to make sure people understand Lois Lane is far from weak. Lois Lane is educated. She's strong. She's beautiful, right? And then you have Superman, Clark Kent, Superman. And then you have Wonder Woman over here, right? Why do you think Superman chose Lois Lane over Wonder Woman? Because Wonder Woman, I got my gold bracelets, I got my ship,
Yeah,
I come from a place of my lasso, and I live on an island of nothing but women. You know what I mean? And she's saying, and what you have to be careful of doing is don't be Wonder Woman.
Right.
Be a strong, educated, prosperous, beautiful Lois Lane. But if your whole goal out there is to make yourself a Wonder Woman, if you remember the movies of Superman spent the entire world backwards to bring Lois Lane back.
Right.
She was underwater, dying, and he could hear her. You know what I mean? Yeah, I may act drama or whatever. My wife, she's in the kitchen. She go, ah! You know, because she saw a damn roach or something, and I run in there and kill a roach. I'm Superman. You know what I mean? A man want to feel like he's come in and he's conquered. And if you are sitting there, I've done all of this. And you know, and I ain't saying come in here and save you. That's why I want people to understand how strong Lois is. But you got and recognize who Lois had. Lois didn't even realize she had a Superman in Clark Kent. Clark Kent was just this little nerdy like little guy running around here, but he could save you at any time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so there's nothing, and also stop doing this, because black women are the only ones who do it. Strong black woman.
Yeah.
I have never heard a white woman say, I'm a strong white woman.
Yeah, right.
I'm a strong, now this is starting to become a trend where people are starting to say this, I'm a strong black. I mean, what does that mean? What have men been our entire lives and we haven't been strong for our family? Right? I watched my dad, third grade education, dropped out of school. He had to help my grandmother and work. I mean, he worked from a third grade education, couldn't read his name, he had to sign it with an X. But for 23 years of my life, I would see my dad come home and give his entire check to my mom. Entire check. So here's the check. My mom would then give him some money he would need for gas or cigarettes or whatever he needed for the weekend. And I watched them do this for 23 years. He would walk through the door and kiss my mom when he walked in the house. That's when I knew everything was right in the world. Yeah. Right? I'd be playing outside. My daddy's coming home from work. I come inside. I can watch on TV to see them kissing, and then I go back outside. Yeah. Right? Now I'm the baby of 12. Right? I'm a baby of 12. My mom had 5, my dad 7. And so the point I'm making with that is I got to see growing up in a household and seeing how a man did. Now, am I willing to take my entire check and give it to Veronica? You said times have changed. Right?
Times have changed.
I ain't doing that. But my point is, you had people that understood how to rely on one another. They had a process and a system that worked. Now, mind you, in order for him to get to my mom at that point, he had to get it right. Right? So, being a strong black woman isn't about what you have. It's about who you are. And if who you are is right, no matter what you have, a man will get right with that.
Right.
But you got to show me a window. You got to show me a Lois. You got to show me that you want me to come in and be that hero for you. Right?
So don't tell him this is my house. I'm going to put him out. Because you know that when you come in there that it's my house. So don't verbalize. No matter how mad I get, don't say that. Right. So what else? What else? Because that's a whole new separate population of women. And you're right. We have coined that phrase, strong black women. And this is what we say. The reason we single is because y'all intimidated by us. That's what
No.
we made it y'all's issue
No.
to absolve us of any responsibility. And I know I'm smart enough to know that ain't the issue, but it's easy. It's easier on our heart because when we have accomplished all of this to make ourselves more attractive to you all, because we're bringing to the table. Y'all ain't got to take care of us like y'all had to take care of some women. Y'all ain't got to worry about paying us alimony. Y'all ain't got none of that. So we think that that makes us more valuable to you all. But when y'all don't come to us, then we gotta get it off of us. We gotta put it on y'all and say y'all intimidated by us.
You know, I think somewhere went wrong. I think at some point something went wrong about, what it means to let a man know that you need him. And you said if some women go out there and build this empire, hey, I bring this to the table.
Right.
That's not what I was looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So getting whatever, and each man is different.
Right.
Ask him. And if he don't know what he needs, then run for the hills. Right.
But it ain't no
Ask him.
central, generalized thing that all
It's
men
not.
want that kind of
Ask him. Because some men might like it. I think it was you saying something earlier. You said something about I can't remember. But I'm just gonna say some men will get with a woman and not feel intimidated by it, but to like mooch off her.
Right.
And then you got a whole issue right there.
Oh yeah.
But then some men won't get with a woman because he might, well, in fact, be intimidated by it. But I think to know what that man needs, what would make him feel like he's needed, you have to ask him. Because it's two kind of different men. There's some real ones out there, and then the other one we just haven't really, defined them yet. But we can tell them apart.
He have to feel like he's going, like if y'all together and then y'all going to fiance, husband, he had to be involved. I had a homeboy, what happened? He moved to that city, like he said,
Moved to the
moved to the city. That was the first mistake. But
Pitch your tent towards Sodom.
But the wife was more inclined to listen to her mom because her mom was like very instrumental, and she was a good businesswoman, but she was a hard worker. She was just like a secretary at a hospital, but they had businesses. Her and the husband built businesses, so that's how they mainly made their money. So the daughters were inclined to be like their mom. And so when it came down to vital decisions, she ain't talked to the boyfriend, soon to be fiance, soon to be husband. She talked to the mom. And I sat back and watched my homeboy deal with that. And he still married her. And he ain't right. You know what I'm saying? He married to her, but the marriage ain't what it could have been. Cause he wasn't
You don't
involved.
respect them.
When it came down to decisions on their house, she went to the mom. She didn't go to him. Cause she felt as though the mom had that knowledge that she was a businesswoman. She had real estate and stuff like that. But still, that's your husband though.
Right. Yep.
And he a different guy. Different guy, that's all I'm gonna say. But the man have to be involved. Like I know people out there, you may feel as though smart or got that wisdom and that, that's your mom, she gonna do what's best for you, but the husband gotta be involved. You know what I'm saying? He need to feel like he's involved in that, building that.
Here's what my heart goes out to women in your position. That your nature is to get it done. And so you have to be careful not to get a man that becomes a do-boy to get it done. You have to be careful to do, if we have a responsibility to lift our queen up, you likewise have that same responsibility. I'm not talking about lifting somebody up out of poverty, but lifting them up and everything. And so, for example, yard need to be cut. You used to pay somebody to cut the yard, right? Because it got to be done. You and your smarts got to find a way to mitigate the damage or your behavior in doing that, and sort of take that lead. Now, how do you go about doing that? That's the million
That's the
dollar
hard
question.
part. Yeah.
Because not every man is there's different levels of go-getters. So you have some people my older brother, PhD, comes to me sometimes and says, man, what gave you the balls think you could own your own business? Right, I never think about that once. But I never thought about getting a PhD because it's sort of different.
Right. He's
Successful in his right, I'm successful in mine. Not everybody built to be like you. So every man built to be with you.
Right.
And that's what you all have to keep in mind. That every man can't handle this. And there's nothing wrong with that. And the mistake y'all made is expectations, expecting him to be able to rise to the level, and he ain't built for that. The problem is just ain't too many men, or too many women, but particularly men, willing to follow or be on equal par with a woman that can be a shot caller who, and make things happen. And that's the challenge my heart sincerely goes out to, especially if you're at a certain age. If you're starting out, it's a different story.
Right.
But at a certain age, when you have arrived, your patience is few.
Right. So we're all adults, right? So you don't have a problem finding a date.
Right.
Right there,
That
everywhere.
ain't a problem.
Right. So it's some of this is mathematical. Now, biblically, it says that it's not good that man should be alone. Now, you can interpret that to mean God's talk about mankind, which is inclusive of a woman, or you can talk about the fact, the way I look at it, Adam was the only thing here, and it was good that man should be alone, so woman was made for Adam as a helpmeet, right? So I take that interpretation that man shouldn't be alone, but I also look at black people in America make up only 14% of the population, right? 14%. You cut that in half, and you even give that half of that percent male, female. There's still only a certain marrying age you get for that group, right? And then you take that percentage and it all breaks down by the marrying age, educational age, what's attracted to you age, get all these things out of the way. So some of why your success and you're not finding what you need has less to do anything about you. You could be perfect. It's just availability of supply and demand of resources. It's just not there, which is why you see a lot of women being side chicks.
Yeah.
Because there's just nothing out there that shows, that represents what you could have. I mean, you could be doing everything right. We're talking about not making a man feel less involved in this, that, and whatever. But your problem isn't getting a man. You guys want you, right? But doesn't make him marrying material that you're going to deal with. And that's because you're dealing with a pool. And when you've had birthdays, you're 51, you're my age, right? If I'm worth a damn, I'm already married.
Yeah. Right.
Right? If I'm worth a damn, I'm a man, I'm already married.
Right.
And if I happen to become single, I've just said, I'm not married after Veronica.
He ain't married nobody else.
I'm not married, brother, and I'm not alone in that regard.
Right.
And if I happen to get married, you can always, there's no absolutes in things, but my choices and how picky I'm going to be is going to be vast.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily look to a black woman to be the only choice.
Right.
Whereas for a black woman, in most cases, the black man is your only choice.
Right.
Not that you have to, you do. I mean, it's just
Right.
from attraction. So I want to get away from. I know I said the black woman thing. Taking that away, it's still about resource, supply, and demand that creates more of your challenge than anything. Which is why I also go on and say, fight the good fight with what you got when you get it. Fight the good fight for what you got when you get it. Yeah, man, I don't want any of that. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to learn any more in-laws. I don't even want to learn I don't want to go through any of that crap.
Like he was talking about, and I'm sitting here talking about your pickings are slim. So if, from what I gather, one is in Atlanta, you have to decide, first of all, there's more women in Atlanta than men.
Yep.
And you have those men who don't want to be married. You have those men who are downward brothers. You have the brothers that are outwardly gay. You have the brothers that have done time. And so you have all these factors that limit the pool that a woman can choose from, period. So if there's 10 black men and you just qualify 6 of them for those reasons, whatever, now you only got 4. But there's 20 black women trying to get at them 4.
Right.
And there's a scripture somewhere in the Bible that basically what it says that there come a time basically women say, let me just have your name. Let me just be called by your name.
Isaiah 4:1.
Yeah, so that side chick kind of stuff, and then you have those men who will deal with that. Because you know what? I can have a couple of 2, 3 of them. And I don't have to deal with the everyday minutia, ins and out of a relationship, developing real intimacy and the whole 9 yards and stuff. So my heart really goes out to y'all. So it's ultimately, like you're saying, it might not just be you, it's just the numbers don't bear out the fact that it's like musical chairs. That's what y'all really
I guess if I'm down to 4, but y'all got all of these options, y'all may not pick the woman with the house already, all the other things that I'm bringing to the table. It may not be me.
Right.
It's just that I'm not what you all looking for because y'all got 5 different options and you don't want somebody you want to be needy.
Or it's just we don't want a wife. It has nothing. I mean, you could be everything I would want, but I've reached a level in my life where I'm saying I'm not marrying again. It doesn't mean that you're not marriage material.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you check every box. But now I'm damaged. Now I'm saying I can't put myself back out in the a lot of men get remarried. I'm not saying that it can't happen again, but I mean it lessens the opportunity. So again, you say, well, Derek, how you gonna help me? And that's about helping. It's about being honest.
I'm taking it.
It's about being, but so you know, and because even for this thing, I just looked it up in blackdemographics.com. It even talked about the ratio. There's the population of men you can marry in Tallahassee is low. White women get married 3, 4 different times, but they're dealing with not 14% of the population. They're dealing with 70.
Right.
They have more probability in doing that. But then there are black women who've gotten married multiple times. So it doesn't write off the probability, but it does lessen the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But that makes it hard for y'all. Not just because we take marriage as the ultimate. You still would have a problem just finding a partner.
Yeah.
You get married because you might say, I don't want to be
Yeah.
married. I don't want to commit a relationship, that kind of thing, and that perhaps makes it hard as well. That's not something that I think that me and all things we equal have to deal with, especially if you are what everyone would say have the fact of being a good brother, or just being a good brother. We don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, and you all don't. It's like you said. We look for a man who already got the house, already got the job, already had the status and all that stuff. So y'all got a whole flock of women.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But with the women who have those things that we work hard to get, it's almost like it's a bullet. It's like a negative to us because we seem to struggle. And I'm a big fan of. I want everybody to be happy. I want all my sisters, no matter what their economic status, I want them to be happy. But when I look at somebody that I feel like are not on my level, so to speak, and I don't believe in socialism, looking down on people because they make less. It has nothing to do with status or money, but that are not on my level, and they don't have a problem in a relationship. They're in several different relationships, or they always leave one and then they can easily find, and I'm over here like, wait a minute. These are not assets to y'all?
But a big problem is that a lot of women that's like, let's say like you're gonna look for a man who has probably as much as you have. In our culture, the women they got way more than the average man in our culture.
Right.
Because they got more college degrees,
Right.
they got better jobs, all of that. So but you want the man to be where you are when sometimes it just ain't possible.
Yeah.
It's just not there. So are you willing to say, well, you know what, I want a good man that's good to me?
And I think most of us are.
But that's what you say. But when it comes to you, then that ain't what you.
I think, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm wondering if y'all get mad, y'all got the house and y'all marry a woman and she move in your house, and y'all get mad at her, y'all don't never say, hey, you can pack your bags and get out if you don't like it. Y'all don't say that?
I've never said that. No. I've never said
No.
that.
Really?
No.
man.
So maybe
But-
that's
Well, first and foremost, for me, she ain't gonna get mail there. They'll never be her house anyway. I'm telling you, for me, you ain't getting no mail at my house. At best, you get a toothbrush.
Because I was thinking when you were saying that, when
That's
yeah,
my
we
wife,
get
man,
mad.
you know.
Women get mad, like men, and we say stuff that we don't mean. And so I know I've been wanting to say it. You take what you brought in here, take it on with you. You can take it in a duffel bag, you know? Or this is my house. If you don't like it, you get the hell out. I mean, I know I've said that, but I said it in anger. May not have meant it. But y'all say stuff in anger that y'all don't mean. We forgive y'all. Why can't y'all get over that?
But me personally, I don't say stuff that I don't mean. If I say it, I mean it. Like even if I'm
matter how harsh it
serious, yeah, because I feel like I really meant it, so I said it. So I would never say that what you just said as far as this my house, you gotta get out. Because if I said that I mean it, I know I wouldn't mean that, so I'm not gonna say that. I may say some other hurtful stuff, but I do really mean it.
Yeah, and words matter. Words
I
matter.
said, I remember telling a young lady, say, if you ever say something to me that's hurtful, don't come back and apologize. Tell me it was an accident. Because I don't accidentally say I love you. I say that intentionally.
Yeah.
I'm always in control of my words to say I love you. And so I'm not gonna say, if I actually say I hate you, that's actually what was in my heart. And if that's in your heart, in my heart, it's coming back again. So the first time, once again, you tell me to pack my grip and go, oh baby, I'm gone. Yeah. You got to worry about me again.
Yeah. Especially talking about a man.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna have that.
Like that.
Now, a boy, different story. He'll come back and get that bunk bed with you. That's
Yeah.
not a problem. But a man, nah, we gone.
No.
We gone.
Because the boy needs you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something that it's gonna sound a little funny, tongue in cheek, but it's based in some reality for me about relationships and marriages. Is that'll stop you from being able to say what you said about get yourself and go. It's 3 things that keep a marriage. I say this to a group one time being funny, but it's 3 things that keep a marriage. You know what those 3 things are? Alimony, child support, and keeping half your shit. Right? Because you know, as a divorce attorney, if those 3 factors weren't there, right, marriage is a whole lot of marriages in this country right now are over.
They'll be over.
Right? They're over.
Yeah.
Those things. And see, and to have a relationship, you've got to have some consequence. And for you to know if you have someone, you have something to lose, you'll fight harder to keep it. And if you were just, this is my stuff, it's easy for you to say, hey, you get the hell on, because I'm good. I didn't need you anyway. People need to have something that keeps them. That's why when you grow and you build something together, it can't be as easy as you getting out. Right? Because there's consequences for you. Take away the consequence. That's why boyfriend and girlfriend relationships can end so quick. You don't care. Y'all don't have nothing. You don't have nothing. We don't need you. We ain't even got to come to the divorce attorney. You get your shit, I get mine. We're gone.
Yeah, we go.
Soon as the lease over with.
Yes, that's it.
Soon as the lease over with.
Yeah, so relationships need consequence.
Yeah.
Relationships need consequence.
All right, this is the last subject. It's about commitment. And hopefully this is more for the younger generation of the audience. Because I hear this all the time, especially when I'm mentoring young women. Y'all men are bad about this. You're in a relationship, and this is not for the married people.
I'm sorry, who's bad about this?
Men are bad about this.
Now, you just said you had, when you're consulting with.
Uh-oh, here we go. Okay.
Your words matter. You said it.
Okay, well this is one of those women things. Okay, so when I'm dealing with my young girls that I'm mentoring,
Right, okay.
you all start dating a girl, and you say, I don't want a relationship, just letting you know I don't want to be in a committed relationship. But then you start doing boyfriend stuff. You start spending money, you start staying overnight, you start calling her all the time, taking her on the trips. So we think that now you done transitioned from not wanting to be in a relationship, you done fell in love with us, and now we're in a relationship. And then we catch you with Susie over there, and then the first thing you say, I told you I didn't want to be in a relationship.
He did. Oh, that's enough.
So, yeah, that's what this comment
It
is.
is.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, is there a verbal communication and nonverbal? So is it just that if he don't never change those words and say, hey, no matter what I do for you, I don't want to be in a relationship, then we should just presume y'all don't want to be in a relationship?
Yes.
I think women.
That's the short answer.
Yeah, I think women, whether they older or younger,
Well, see, this, like I said, I was saving this a little bit for, I got some goddaughters and stuff
Okay.
that I've been trying to.
I don't think that's a younger age. I don't think that's an age thing because when I only been married 2 years. So when I'm dating, I'm dating. I'm not just when I'm dating, I'm single. When
Yeah,
dating,
you say
and
you're
you're
not
free
exclusive.
to do the same thing. So if I'm dating you, I could be dating her, or whoever. So if I'm taking you out, okay, I'll tell you this story. One of my friends always used to say, because I get off work and I almost have a different date every morning. Going so he said, boy, he said, you will buy a bitch a pancake. Every morning I got a different date. Every morning. And what I was dating, but I told them up front that we were dating. I didn't say I'm looking for a relationship. I said I'm not looking for a relationship because I was kind of fresh out of a relationship. So I was like, I'm not looking for a relationship. And one of them even told me after the fact, she was like, well, you don't want nothing. I said, I told you that in the beginning. I didn't want it. But y'all don't listen.
That's it.
Well, but it's that nonverbal stuff. Don't treat us like a girlfriend if we ain't a girlfriend.
Why can I treat you how I want to treat you? If it's good, it's good.
He only treat you how you let yourself be treated.
That's it.
You weren't complaining when we was going on cruises, trips and all. You weren't complaining then.
Let me say this. I guess this is sort of cute because I'm thinking back. You know, I'm up at 53 in high school. I remember, you know, right when you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it do.
What? Yes, right. Past your friend, you pass that kind of thing, and then you go on down the road. The concept of, there's nothing wrong with the concept of dating multiple people. Is foreign to me. You know, I didn't know we could. I didn't know people. That's foreign. You know, it's like, wow, I thought you had your one steady. You know, it's foreign. Like you brought one girl home. That's it. You didn't bring 4 or 5 girls to the house and stuff. Not saying you might not have some other friends you tapping, but just, you know, this your girlfriend and everything. Let me say, I think the difference between male and female is how we see relationships, and it speaks to the level of maturity. So, when we're the same generation, women, on that duotone folder used to write on there, Neibra and John, that kind of thing there. And she had no problem letting everybody know she's like 15 years old, this mm-hmm. Him, he sort of shy about it and stuff like that, because he didn't want nobody, because he wanted to keep his options open and stuff. You all are, well, your level of maturity is based on my experience that women scientifically say that y'all are far more mature than we are, right? 7, 16, 18 years of age. You already have it planned out. You all have written on that spiral notebook up on the top shelf of your closet how many kids you want, their names, what you want to be, and here we come along at 18, and this is what I tell you, my first child was born when I was 18. That when you find out that she is pregnant, she already got a name picked out.
Marriage date.
Marriage date and the whole 9 yards, where we're sort of like, whoa. And that's because y'all been planning this from the time, y'all been playing mama, planning this, playing wife, whatever it is, from the time y'all were 12, 13 years old, that I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna do hair, I'm gonna be a nurse, I'm gonna be a lawyer, whatever the case may be, when we still trying to figure it out and everything. And I think that perhaps speaks to, we can do all these things, but we are doing things that you see as a level of commitment.
Right.
Because see, you got that white picket fence, and the
Right.
kids that you trying to have by the time you 30 and be done, and you want these kids every 2 years apart, that kind of thing there. And whereas with us, we ain't seeing that.
No.
We ain't seeing that.
And that hurts y'all because y'all, when it doesn't go your way, now you messed up in the head.
Real messed up.
That's what I'm saying. So you
I mean, and I've been there. I mean, and now I'm smart enough to know. Well, I'm secure enough to say, okay, what we doing? Okay, and I mean, I've been there. I mean, I've been married twice. I'm 51. I'm more like y'all in a lot of ways than like women. Although I listen to the women, but I'm secure enough to say I don't want a relationship either. This is what I want from you. And even if I start doing girlfriend stuff, don't you get it twisted and then come, popping up at my house kind of stuff. But there's a lot of women out there that don't understand that you got verbal and nonverbal. And what we define as boyfriend stuff or husband-like stuff that y'all doing is giving us the impression that now you've changed your mind about not wanting to be committed. And y'all are saying, if I don't tell you I done went from not wanting to be committed to now I want to be committed, you better believe that I'm still not wanting to be committed.
Right. Because it's always your option, whether you want to deal or not.
Yeah, but I'm in there because you're doing boyfriend stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking we good until I roll up with you and her. And then you say, hey, you're not my girlfriend, I told you.
But you just said that you have said, in essence, you said it to her, you say, okay, don't get it twisted. You ain't stand over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta need you coming to meet this need. We're gonna go on this trip with that kind of thing there. So what's wrong with the man saying that you ain't tell him to switch from when he wanna leave his toothbrush. If he try to leave his toothbrush, then you correct him and say, nah, they ain't that.
But I'll tell you why. Y'all know, y'all said it already, women are more emotional.
Mm-hmm.
We perceive things differently. Y'all perceive it as a bowel movement. That same bowel movement that y'all see as a bowel movement, we see it as intimacy. That's what we went over today. So now, and this is the Mars-Venus thing. You remember men are from Mars, women from Venus, and then Steve Harvey's book, everybody's book, they all say the same thing. His knees, her knees, they say the same thing. When if men are from Mars and women are from Venus, when you're dealing with Venus, you got to deal with us from where we coming from our mindset. So if you know that I'm emotional and I perceive the trips, the cruises, and all of that stuff, as we're in a relationship, why y'all doing it?
Why y'all get involved with something y'all don't understand? Ooh.
I'll tell you why.
What choice we have? We don't have, what choice we have? Y'all all like that.
Well, you do have a choice.
You have a choice.
Well, yeah, be single.
But are you willing to be single, or are you willing to, abide in this confusion?
Okay, but whose responsibility? This is how we end this. It's a responsibility thing. When it comes to communication, that oneness, that bond, that intimacy that you all are talking about, whose responsibility is it? Is it y'all's responsibility to communicate at a level that we get it? Or is it our responsibility to change to figure you all out? Like in the last conversation. Are you supposed to just reaffirm to me, Neibra, we're not in a relationship, even I'm doing boyfriend stuff? Or are you supposed to stop doing boyfriend stuff because you know you're doing boyfriend stuff is causing me to think we're in a relationship?
But if it's like for me, I'm pretty sure at some point when all women always gonna still ask that question. Mm-hmm. So if you're not asking me a question, but you're making an assumption, I think that's a mistake. You shouldn't do that. It's like if he hadn't said anything and you know that's what you want, you should say that. Like, okay, we've been doing this for a month or 2 months now. Mm-hmm. So are we still this or what? But y'all don't do that. Y'all just make an assumption.
Okay, you're right.
Because most men, they probably not gonna just come and be like, you know what? Now I want to date you. Now I want to be with you. We probably not gonna do that. I'm just being honest. So if you still, to protect yourself, you still should ask us. You should be like, hey, what we doing? Are we still doing this? We not doing this. And you ask another question like, why do we do boyfriend type stuff or husband type stuff? Because we want to do those things. Then we just want somebody to do it with. And you could be the person that I want to do it with.
I want to add to what he said. If you leave, if I may be a cool dude, right? But if I'm the kind of dude that I have a ulterior motive, or I don't really want to commit because I want to keep my options open, I'm not going to tell you that. Right. You still might catch me slipping doing some boyfriend stuff, but that don't mean I'm not talking to somebody else. But here's the thing: when you leave the responsibility up to a man to tell you, and possibly have a different intent of why he there with you, you open yourself up to be a casualty there. Because I can still lie to you, but if you take the responsibility and act like he said, that man gonna tell you something and you're gonna immediately sense that he's lying. You know why? Because God is faithful.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna let you be lied to too, man.
Right.
But you're gonna see it. You know how you ask somebody else straight on. You a lawyer.
Oh yeah.
You ask them a straight on question, like they lying. They lying.
Yeah.
And then
your body movement.
You make a decision then, right? And you will be. It's more peace in making that kind of decision.
Well, and I agree with you, but the problem is you don't go believe what you want to believe.
Yep.
He can say it wasn't me. You can have total documentation that it was him.
It wasn't
That's
him.
not what you want to believe.
Right.
That's
don't
not
wanna
what
handle
you
it.
want. Yeah, and especially going back to the fact that the pool is small, it's narrow, you got time invested, you forgive him, whatever the case may be. So it's, you believe what you want to believe.
Yeah.
I mean, and boyfriend and girlfriend, just by definition, is not exclusive.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't mean that we, until that man marries you or commits themselves as being your forever, men are just not going to view it that way. And depending upon how gutter he wants to be, a man's going to tell you any damn thing in the world. And if I have to look like a boyfriend to get you, that's what I'm going to do. It means absolutely nothing to him. It's still about me. I can make myself look like a boyfriend if that's going to allow me to do what I want to do, and I'm still going to go about my business. And you catch me, it's like, oh shit, you got me. You know, if he's serious about you, it will be what he will commit to, and it will come into that thing it's supposed to be. Because if a man findeth a wife, he finds a good thing. You can't find me. Woman can't find me.
Right.
So if he finds and he wants, the first day I met that lady I'm married to, I told my mom that very day, I said, I met my wife today.
And not every man wants to find a wife.
No.
That's the other thing.
Hell, I didn't want to find it then.
I tell the people I'm older brother. My older brother is excellent boyfriend material. He'll make a horrible husband. And me, I feel that I'm good husband material. I make a horrible boyfriend. I think a person just simply needs to know who they are, what they bring to the table, what they're capable of, everything.
Oh, y'all been amazing. Boy, I wish that we could have had a whole auditorium full of women sitting here, because I know that I didn't ask all the questions, and I know when women listening to this, they're going to be like, Neibra, you didn't ask that, and you didn't ask that. It's just like, I'm just absorbing the information. I mean, it's been a wealth of knowledge, and I appreciate you all so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when I leave this is what I'm leaving this with. I'm still confused as hell. I'm still lost. I got everything that you all are saying, but I'm still stuck in this Mars-Venus thing, because I'm like, I hear you, but I hear it's one-sided. It's like, I know what to expect from you all,
Right.
but you all don't know what to expect from us. It's like, y'all are all kind of consistent. Most of y'all are consistent, maybe one or two things that y'all weren't consistent on. But are you all honestly taking as much time to get to know what our needs are, or catering to our needs, or y'all are presuming or assuming what our needs are? Now, do y'all know? Because y'all use this saying women are complicated. I think y'all use that as an excuse to not get to know us. Y'all agree?
I just asked.
Yeah.
I just asked.
You know, sometimes y'all don't love yourself.
True.
And you all bring to the table, this speaking personal experience, I think women bring far more baggage to the table than men. I'm not saying men don't.
Right.
And it's really hard, ladies, to love somebody. So if you've been divorced and we get it, I gotta love you for who I am. I gotta love you for the hurt you've experienced. I gotta love you for hurt that happened when you were 16 and try to grow with you. If you're not open enough to say, this is what I've experienced, I'm just shooting all in the dark while I'm trying to
Figure it out.
figure it out and everything. And that's extremely unfair. But that's the reason why communication on the front end, to talk about everything, like I tell people, when I was growing up, you'd be on the phone, you had that one phone in the house, and you see me do, you know, you just talk about everything. When you talk about that when you're older, you still got to talk about everything, every kind of scenario, talk about other folk, how you deal with the things that you, because if you were a young lady, I had dealt with a young lady one time that had been raped. And so in our physical dealings together, I'm glad she told me, because it taught me I couldn't just sort of,
Right.
man, it's a
Right.
You couldn't do that, but if we didn't have that dialogue, I wouldn't have known that. And I probably wouldn't have laid out the first time I tried to lovingly handle her. But you gotta have those conversations, you gotta open up, and that takes a period of time. So you can't just be jumping and entering these relationships and spilling your guts day one. it takes a prolonged period of time to be in a committed relationship, to develop a committed relationship. What he knows about her at 26, he didn't know about her at day one. Now, he might have went home and told his mom and dad was his wife.
Absolutely.
But the way he know his wife now, her proclivities to do things and the whole 9 yards, how she's gonna respond, what she need, he didn't know that then. That's over a period of time, and he couldn't rush that. And her needs, in 25 more years, the Lord gonna bless him with, his prayers gonna be the same, but there gonna be some changes, but he gonna ride that ride with her to find that out. It's not gonna happen overnight.
Because mind you, that day when I said I met her, it was 2.5 years before I married her. Let me go into his point.
Yeah. You know, so in the same relationship, you gotta have a dialogue. You can't be in a rush to say, okay, let's solidify. You can't be in a rush to say, well, we're in this committed relationship. Because once again, for you all, like music to chill, and that music stuff, you want to be sitting someplace.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why y'all try to pour in all that. This brother just trying to figure some things out and see what's on the horizon.
No, we dealing with that. It's only 4 y'all, and it's like 100 women.
Yeah.
We just trying to grab you quick.
But I got a
got
friend who's recently single, and so he went online, created a profile for himself online, looking for relationships, just seeing what's out here. And he said all the posts he saw were women that says, "I am looking for a committed relationship," and he passed right by them. Now, those women could have had that dude if their profile didn't say, "I'm looking for a committed relationship," because we don't go into it for the most part looking for a committed relationship. If it happens, that's wonderful. So to any single woman out there with your profile, I want a committed relationship off. Okay? Because if that relationship is going to have commitment, it will happen organically. You can't ask me to meet you day one and say we're going to be committed. Men don't operate that way.
Well, what about, wait
Also
now.
husband. I'm
What
looking for
Steve
a husband.
Harvey told us.
That's what messed y'all up right there.
Steve Harvey told us that by date number 3, we told y'all what we want, and we don't need to spend a bunch of time spinning our wheels and collecting red flags. By date number 3, we need to have weeded you out if you don't want a committed relationship.
And even if you go with that analogy, not to say that I buy into it wholeheartedly, I am still saying you didn't tell me in day 1, day 2, day 3 what we need it to be. You know what I mean? I mean, men just don't say, hey, I want to marry you, and that's on another talking, so that means we're exclusive while we figure this out. We don't operate that way.
You know, the
we
issue
do.
y'all have, and that's probably not, those websites,
Yeah.
what it affords a man, especially a man who's been divorced, is we literally can pick the very best that's out there.
We go out there and we're letting you know, when we put that on our profile, looking for a committed relationship, we're letting you know, don't come over here with the game plan. I ain't got time, I'm not gonna be a perpetual booty call. I'm looking to settle down. That's not us saying, I wanna settle down today or is with you. It's just that I'm letting you know what my long-term goal is. And I don't come here with the game plan. Because we spend too much time with y'all playing games.
But you say that like that changed the consequence. You think by saying, hey, I only want exclusivity, that the men who didn't come there are going to have that mindset. That
What?
same dude going to be on the exclusive side, or exclusive to this side over here, say, I want every Mac that. That man, he's going to play in every one of those yards. He doesn't care.
Yeah, but when you all see that on the profile, you bypass it as a negative thing. But women, we see it as a positive thing.
Yeah, but it depends. You remember my statement, what I said about dating? That's when I was dating with no purpose. But once I was dating with a purpose, then I was on the dating that one person. I broke up, well, I'm not gonna say me and my ex broke up in January. I started dating my wife in February. But I was only dating her because I was dating with a purpose. I knew what I wanted. But
I
it's
guess
like, once you figure that out, then you just dating until you find out
Just
what
test out. Stop saying that you just want something exclusive and see. You're going to get the same people in your box. Your inbox will not change. It'll be the same dudes.
Well, I guess that I heard this saying, and I guess if you all are proving it true. Women, when we meet a man and he meets all the check boxes, we're like, that's my husband. We zoom in on you and we don't think about nobody but you. With you all, it's not about the woman, it's about timing. When you're ready to settle down, like you said,
Right.
man, you ready for it.
Right.
Whatever's going on in your lives, ready to settle down with a woman.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter how many beautiful, wonderful women with all the bells and whistles.
Yep.
If it ain't time, I guess it ain't gonna happen now.
Yep.
Right.
So,
Because they make a beautiful woman every day.
so we'll close it with this question. So, knowing that to be the case, what do we women do with that? I mean, if I'm ready to settle down and I got my eyes on you, but it ain't the timing. So what women do? We hang around, we wait, do we need to stay in there till maybe the timing to come while we're in a relationship?
It's gonna take
So-
about
Keep it
six.
moving.
It's
So,
gonna take
but-
about 6 months.
But let's go back on those factors about what I said again. Probability, simple math about access, right? Because I really don't want you or anyone to think you're doing something wrong per se. I'm just making what's available is what's available. Right? So you got to deal with that first. Okay, and then I'm a believer you get what you attract. Right? If the way you carry yourself, if you're in a certain light, that someone will see you and will be attracted to you. You want to make sure whatever that is you're attracting, that you represent it well. Because again, it goes back to some of this early conversation. If you dress and you look a certain way, you're going to attract a dude that has one intention because what he saw said, this is what I'm looking for. So it's access and then making sure you are always prepared for what you attract. Because if you get an old joker that you're attracting old jokers, hey man, me, it's like this. Well, man, you attract an old joker.
You all have been great. I have learned so much. I know the women are gonna learn so much. Y'all gonna get a lot of flack, but I think ultimately, a lot of us gonna still be confused. A lot of women gonna disagree with you and debate it. But at the end of the day, we need y'all. We want to be in a relationship with you all. We need to be in a relationship. No matter how successful or how strong black women we are, we need you all. And we want to get it right. So you all
Tell him
have,
that.
Yeah.
Tell him that.
Tell the man that. That's
Uh-huh.
right. That's what he needs. That
Tell him that.
appreciation. So all the women, go home and tell your man, I need you. I love you. I appreciate you. I do everything. If you got to write down all the things he do, just go ahead and do it. But what I want to ask you guys, and I want you to ponder, you don't have to ask it, is I need you to do the same for your women that you all are doing for women now. You all are telling us what we need to know. Now I need you all to listen when your woman tell you what she needs. The things that we want y'all to know. Because that is still a disconnect. I've learned it. I know what y'all said, but we still don't have that disconnect until the other part of the puzzle gets in place, which is you all going to have to listen to us. So I ask you all to do the same thing that I'm asking the women to do. To your wives and your girlfriends, go home and sit down and spend some time listening to her and ask her the same questions like I've asked you all, and listen.
Fair.
All right. Thank y'all so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.